Happy New Year, Mavericks. Welcome to 2020. We cannot believe it is the new year, and we also know this video is a few days late, but every day is the beginning of a new year. This video is all about really what you want to carry forward into 2020 and what you want to leave behind. So we're super excited to go through it with you guys.
So as we go through this exercise, we're going to be building up your intention muscles. So the first thing we really want you to think about is what you want to carry forward into this new year and beyond. When you look back on 2019, what is it that you want to carry forward? What energizes you? What makes you really feel good and brings you joy just in the doing of it or the thinking of it? And not only what serves you in a positive way, but also what serves other people. The second thing you really want to look at is what you want to leave behind. And I think sometimes this is an easier part. I think that more times than not, we all tend to focus on what we didn't like or what we want to change, all of those things. And we really do need to do that, to really consciously think about what we want to change, and not in the way of making a typical resolution, if you will, because we all know, most of us do not stick with the New Year's resolutions that we make.
Resolution becomes destitution.
And so what we want to do is empower and equip you to make the changes that you really want to make in a way that you're going to stick with it. So really consider what no longer serves you physically, emotionally, spiritually, thought processes, beliefs that you might have. A lot, we have limiting beliefs. A lot of us, what are those that are really holding you back?
And before we share this exercise, we're going to quickly introduce ourselves for those of you who do not know us. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Terry.
And we're
Lady
Lady MAVS. And our mission is to inspire, empower, and uplift women to embrace their worth, step into their power, and live the life they love, happy, healthy, and financially secure.
So before we go further, first of all, we definitely want to acknowledge our friend Catherine, who kind of gave us this exercise. So again, the first two things, what do you want to carry forward and what do you want to leave behind? Really spend some time with that. What I found when I went through this exercise is that I wrote all the things I wanted to carry forward, and then when I was looking at what I wanted to leave behind, I kept also adding to my list of things I wanted to carry forward. Once you've taken the time to do that, close your eyes and imagine that you have climbed to the top of this mountain. There's this beautiful view, 360-degree view all the way around you, that you're just on this high because it's so beautiful. But in that 360-degree view, there's another mountain peak not too far away that's a little higher with an even better view. And you want to get to that peak. You don't want to stay where you are, as beautiful and as wonderful as it is, and as difficult maybe as it was to get there, like some of the hikes and climbs that we've done. You have to recover for a minute, right? With your eyes closed, imagine a bridge appears between the peak where you are and the peak where you want to go. And you have 1 minute to cross that bridge and carry everything forward with you that you want to carry, and everything else is left behind. I would imagine that with your eyes closed that you're going to feel as though you've dropped at least a 10-ton weight off your shoulders, because you're leaving the limiting beliefs behind, you're leaving the toxic relationships behind, you're leaving the dreams that you've tucked in a closet behind, or rather you're leaving the closet behind, right? You're pulling your dreams out, you're carrying them with you. You're carrying the accomplishments that you're striving for in a positive way, and you're leaving all your frustration and disappointment. And I want you to sit in that moment. When you get to that next peak, relish where you are and how proud you are of yourself for crossing that bridge, for reaching the next peak.
And there may be something you want to carry forward that's not necessarily positive, but it's serving you in some way. And let that be okay, right? Let go of the shame that you may feel with feeling like you're not ready to let that go yet, and acknowledge it. Figure out the parts of whatever that is that help you grow and serve you, and take that with you and be okay with leaving whatever that negativity of that situation was behind when you're ready. You know, and one of the most important things to ask yourself, I think particularly in going forward into this new year, is what do you want and why do you want it? And this question of why is really important, and it's not just a surface level question. So maybe you have a business opportunity that you're wanting to partake in this year, and your why is you want to make more money, right? Well, why do you want to make more money? Is it because you're struggling to make ends meet every month? Are you a luxurious type of person and you're not necessarily living a luxurious type of life? Or you want to be able to make enough money so, you know, that you can stay home with your children? What is the why behind why? And then what is the why behind that why? And really drill down and ask yourself why to each answer 7 times and go 7 levels with that. And I think you're going to be surprised about what it really comes down to. Everybody's a little bit different. It's something that is really important, because when you figure out what that deep-seated why is, it's going to drive you, and it's going to open up a lot of doors for you to be able to go after what you really want.
Yeah, and even if your response to that is, I want to be able to do more for other people, well, why? What is it about doing for others that has such meaning for you? And when you drill it down, it could be because you didn't have anything growing up and you know what that feels like, and you felt worthless perhaps. So being able to do for others makes you feel like you have value. You know, it's so different for everyone. When I went through this exercise and I looked at it from a monetary standpoint, because there are different levels, there are different pieces of our life, right? One thing that I realized for myself was that growing up, I got told no a lot because we didn't have the financial resources to do the things I wanted to do, like dance lessons, for example, right? Or to be able to join the pool and those kinds of things. And so because so many other people were able to do that, what it did to me as a young child was make me think that I didn't belong in those circles, if you will. And so having financial abundance on that subconscious level really makes me feel more like I belong within the circles that I want to belong in, and to feel like I have worth and value. Now, it doesn't mean that having money is what gives me worth and value. It just goes back to, I don't want to be in that place of having to say no because of how it made me feel. And I want to be able to say yes, not only for myself, but in serving other people. I don't want to have to say no to being generous because I don't have the funds for that. And going through this exercise, there's so many layers to that when, like Kayla said, when you drill it down, it just brings so much clarity. You'll just be amazed with that.
Well, and the reason we say to do that too is, you know, I think a lot of people, when they're asked why, they tend to give a superficial answer because, you know, you're trying to protect you, right? You don't want to be vulnerable with whoever's asking you what your why is, but probably more so with yourself, because, you know, people, it kind of makes them uncomfortable to be vulnerable with even themselves and what they really want. So try to just get past that superficial level, and that's why we say to go deep and continue to ask yourself, well, why do I want that? Well, why do I want that? Well, what's the reason that I want that? And really get down to that vulnerable place within yourself. That's really will be the true reason as to why you want to go after whatever it is that you want.
And if you want to ramp this exercise up another notch, do this piece of it with somebody you trust, somebody that you can be truly honest and vulnerable with. Let them be the one to ask you the questions and make some notes about what it is you're saying. So you're totally free to be in that space of answering.
I would say another thing to check yourself on is ask yourself, is it what you really want, or is it what the world wants, what society expects of you, or maybe even your own ego? Maybe what you really want isn't what you want to want, and your ego is keeping you from really living in your full self and your full power. And if you do identify that it is actually something that the world or society or your ego wants, sweep them aside and really focus on what it is that you want.
Are you handing it off?
I am.
Okay.
That's what I want.
And once you go through that exercise, then you need to take time to build a picture of what that looks like, whether you create a vision board or create an album on your phone with pictures in it about what that looks like for you, because our brains can't really pick up on something that is a concept, that's conceptualized. It needs to actually visibly be able to see it so that it can hone in on it. And for someone like me, who can be very philosophical and very conceptual, it's really important to make sure that you don't skip this step. You must do it. And then you need to put that vision in front of your brain on a consistent daily basis, because it's what your mind begins to work on to figure out ways to make it happen. And can you schedule it? And let's say that you want to be fit and healthy this year, more so than you ever have been in the past. Then number one, you need to create a vision for yourself of what it does for you, the end result, what your body physique is going to be when you get there versus where you are now. Focus on where you're going, not where you are when you're doing this part of it, right? And how are you going to feel about yourself? What are you going to see when you look in the mirror? What are you going to think about yourself when you look in the mirror? And can you see yourself doing the exercise, eating the right foods, drinking the water, doing the things you know you need to do, and doing that on a daily basis? And can you schedule in when you want to achieve a certain goal in that way?
Well, and then scheduling like action plans to make it happen. Like, okay, so every day, 5 days a week at 6 p.m., I am going to get off of the couch or out of my office. I am going to lace up my running shoes and I am going to drag my butt out onto the sidewalk and go to the park and run, a mile or whatever it is for you. If you're not a runner, you might want to start with 100 yards. But, whatever that is for you, schedule in. Even I don't like the getting ready to do it, but we got to get ready to do it so that we can go out and do it and actually enjoy the end result.
Taking the first step.
That's
right?
Yeah, the first step sucks always. So make a list and ask yourself, what steps do I need to take? And once you've listed out those steps, what is the first step going to be? Then when are you going to take this step? And most importantly, has anything gotten in the way in the past? Maybe you have made this commitment to do something, before, and for whatever reason, you didn't follow through. Why is that? Focus on, trying to figure out what that is. If you don't figure out why you didn't stick with it before, the same thing is going to happen again this time if you don't figure out and fix your head with whatever, that situation was.
Discern whether or not whatever got in your way, was it something in your control or out of your control? And have that self-awareness about it. And if it was out of your control, what has changed to put you in that place of control? And if it was in your control and you didn't follow through for whatever reason, why is that? And then ask yourself, okay, so is it important enough to me now to do what I need to do to get where I say I want to be? Then you're in a place of making the right decision or the best decision for you and owning it and not feeling guilty about it.
And then the other question is, well, what kind of support do I need? Now, you may be a real go-getter and you're very self-motivated and you don't need anybody's help. And that's awesome. But maybe you are someone who needs an accountability person. It could be a couple people, your partner, a close friend, a sibling, a parent, a coworker. But I would definitely say that make sure this person is someone who can be objective and is not going to let you make excuses, who's going to hold you accountable, and who won't coddle you.
Don't be afraid to reach out to the people that you need to reach out to and get the support and the encouragement. Find the systems, whatever it is that you need to be able to take that next step.
This ties into, the greatest asset in moving forward is community and connection. When we are surrounded by a group of like-minded people, to know that you have, that circle of people who you can rely on, it'll just push you to grow and push you to go after what it is that you want when you tap into a community who's going after the same thing.
So for example, for us, we are entrepreneurial, and it really fires us up to connect with other entrepreneurs. And it doesn't matter what type of endeavors they're involved with, or what their business is, or what their ideas are. We love connecting with their energy, ideas, their creativity, because it inspires us and it fuels us and helps make us better in what we do.
So again, what do you want? Why do you want it? How do you get it? How measurable is it? What is the next step? What resources are available, and what kind of support do you need? And we were super excited to actually get this exercise from our friend Catherine, because it really ties into everything that we do and are focused on and are passionate about helping other people do for themselves. And it also ties into an amazing free guide that we actually put together called our Unconventional Success Guide. 4 essential rules every success-minded woman needs to know so you never have to sacrifice your priorities and can live the life you love. If you head on over to www.ladymavslife.com/unconventional guide and punch the download button, we'll hook you up. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you found value and are having an amazing start to 2020. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and our Facebook and Instagram links are in the description box below.
It's our privilege to support, equip, and inspire you to live the life you love.
Cheers.